Hello, everybody. We welcome you to another wonderful talk show on Law Talkie. Today, we have Mr. Shekhar Bhattacharya on board with us. Sir, it's our pleasure to have you on the talk show.
Thank you.
Mr. Shekhar Bhattacharya is a final year law student at Savitribai Phule University and the founder of Kambhari Cell. He has completed internships in nearly all of the top-tier reputable firms, PSUs, and private enterprises with 18 months of a legal internship experience and 9 months of paid traineeship experience at a law firm in Mumbai. He has been featured on Legal Pithia, a UK-based legal blog, as well as Indian legal pages such as Qanun Salah, Deadly Law, and other more reputable platforms. His predilection is in general corporate and commercial law. He also interviewed Mr. Will Harris, CEO of Willpower Consultation and chairman of the Willpower Humanitarian Foundation, as well as a UN delegate and speaker. Sir believes in sharing his experience and in maintaining a rational mindset in all the situations. By establishing KBC, he used his network to assist fellow law students and legal professionals in obtaining opportunities on a pro bono basis. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure joining this session.
Sir, the first question will be, could you please introduce yourself?
Before that, I would like to take the opportunity to thank the team of Law Talkies for giving me this opportunity to come up in a talk show, legal talk show like this and share my experiences. So yeah, thank you for that. And after that, if I take up my introduction, so yes, my name is Shekhar Bhattacharya. I'm a final year law student at University of Pune. I natively belong from Bhubaneswar, Odisha, and my predilection lies in general corporate and commercial laws. Apart from being an academic scholar, I'm also managing editor at Society Changes NGO situated in Cuttack, and I'm also, as you all know, I'm the founder of Kambhari Cell, which is a legal opportunity cell, and the chief editor at Just Commune.
So thank you so much, sir, for the brief introduction. So the next question will be, how did you manage to intern at a top tier law firms in your final year while also managing your law school and also your platform Kambhari Cell?
So yeah, that's an interesting question basically. So just to give you an insight about my law school journey. So ऐसा कभी नहीं हुआ. I would bend this conversation a bit in Hindi because I believe in student to student talk. So basically, अगर मैं हिंदी में बोलता हूँ तो कुछ students ज़्यादा अच्छे से समझ पाएंगे. So to give you an insight about my law school journey, so ऐसा कभी नहीं था 5 साल में कि मैंने law school attend किया है. Even when the things went virtual, my attendance percent is yet below 20%. तो फिजिकल की बात तो भूल जाइए. तो फिजिकली भी मैंने उतना क्लासेस अटेंड नहीं किया. आई स्पेंट मेजॉरिटी ऑफ माय 5 years law school outside my law school, and basically when I'm saying outside law school, do not take it otherwise. I went for internships, and like I was also like a part-timer in various organizations and companies also. My recent story, which has been posted at different law pages, highlight that I was a part-timer at Subway, which is a sandwich making company also. So basically, yes, I never went to law school. So just to give an insight. Secondly, if I take up the second part of the question, that how did I manage to do these number of internships? To give an insight, after my 5 years of toil, I managed to 30 PSUs and like law firms and private enterprises or companies. So meanwhile, in the 5th year, the lockdown which happened due to the COVID, so proved to be a blessing in disguise for me, wherein I got an opportunity to connect with the law firms who were finding interns who can work for them virtually. So I had that experience, and meanwhile I looked up research about some organizations, drafted my CV and cover letter and other career stuff in a good way, and then yeah, I applied and then I managed to fetch some good internships. So after that, if I talk about Kambhari Cell, as you all know that I have just like I'm in my final sem basically. So final sem तक आते आते मेरा सब कुछ over ही हो गया. So now I can actually like deviate my efforts to like run this organization. मेरा ये organization start करने का like intention मेरा third year से ही हो गया था, but then there was no time and I did not also have that much of experience like I have now. So yes, अभी कुछ hindrance नहीं है. So I am running this organization in a full-fledged way with a very dedicated team. So yeah, that would be my word for this question. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Quite an interesting answer and the management. Now moving forward to the next question. So why internships are important or crucial for a law student career, and when is the ideal time that a law student should begin with his internships?
Okay, again a quite interesting question. So major of the law students do not know the value of internships, and my answer to this question would be in two folds. Firstly, let's know, according to me, basically, why internships are that important. So I have this philosophy that आप जब कोई law school में जाते हो, whenever you like attend a law school or be in a law school आपको एक lawyer बनने की, एक advocate बनने की एक थप्पा देता है. If I call it certification, you get a certification to be a lawyer, to sit in the bar council, like bar council exam, and then get a certified lawyer or a licensed lawyer. पर आप काम नहीं सीखते हो, वहां पे आप थ्योरी बेस्ड सीखते हो. इफ आई टॉक अबाउट द लीगल एजुकेशन सिस्टम इन इंडिया, इट इज मोर इंक्लाइन टुवर्ड्स द थियोरेटिकल पार्ट एंड द परसेंटेजियल पार्ट. सो आप इंटर्नशिप, आप काम कैसे सीखोगे? बेसिकली इसका आंसर वही है कि इंटर्नशिप्स से ही आप काम सीखोगे. आप जब जाते हो इंटर्नशिप करने, तो आपको वहां पे प्रैक्टिकल ट्रेनिंग दी जाती है. आप ऐसे मत सोचिए कि अगर आपको रिसर्च वर्क करने को मिल रहा है तो आप कुछ नहीं सीख रहे हो. Like if I talk about research, that is the basic intricacies of the legal industry. So some or other way, internships are a serving hand or a saving hand from the legal industry towards the law student. So this is why the internships play a vital role, or a major role in the life of law students basically. And to answer like when a law student gets eligible for doing internships or pursuing internships, तो इसका आंसर यही रहेगा कि right from the first year when they step into their law school, they are eligible for the internships. अभी ऐसा नहीं है कि मतलब फर्स्ट ईयर में हो तो आप क्या ही करोगे, जस्ट आपने पैर डाला है लीगल एजुकेशन के सेक्टर में, तो ये नहीं है. आप एनजीओ में जा सकते हो. मेजर ऑफ द एनएलयूज एंड टॉप टियर लॉ स्कूल्स लाइक हैव द हायरार्किकल सेटअप, जहाँ पे कि कैसे करके एक लॉ स्टूडेंट को इंटर्नशिप करनी है वो बताई जाती है. तो बेसिकली वहां पे आता है कि फर्स्ट ईयर लॉ स्टूडेंट्स को सोशियो इकोनॉमिक ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में जाना होता है, एंड फिर एनजीओ में जाना होता है इंटर्नशिप करने के लिए. उससे क्या होता है, दे गेट द वेरी सोशियो इकोनॉमिक प्रॉब्लम्स, दे डिस्कवर दिस प्रॉब्लम्स जो कि उनको रिलेट करने में आसान होगी व्हेन दे मूव टू द फर्दर इयर्स, एंड दे कैन एक्चुअली कोरिलेट their theoretical knowledge with the practical knowledge when they'll work in the industry. So right from the first year वो मिल जाती है, मतलब एक लॉ स्टूडेंट एलिजिबल हो जाता है फॉर परस्यूइंग एन इंटर्नशिप बेसिकली. So I being a state university, I was not aware of these things. So I started from my second year, but then I always suggest law students to take up or start doing internships from their first year. So yeah, this would be my word for this question. Thank you.
So I completely agree with your point, and thank you so much for this insightful answer. So now moving forward to your organization name, Kambhari sir. So what is the actual inspiration behind this name and behind this organization or the opportunity set?
So again, a good question. So thank you for actually framing these questions in a very good manner. So by name, if I'll start, it represents a rapper in Mumbai, which is who is Kambhari. So rappers in Mumbai, if I talk about, they are underdogs. So they are the hidden talent in the rapping industry. So I term Kambhari as an underdog in the legal opportunity cell running in a virtual mode. So if I talk about like the inspirations or the reasons why I started Kambhari cell, I would divide this or answer this question in three folds. Firstly, the major intention of starting this organization was to assist law students and like law graduates to benefit from my network, the network which I created in the toiling period of these 5 years during my law school. The second reason of why I created Kambhari Cell is dispelling the myth that NLU students can only get top tier internships and good internships. And the third reason why I created Kambhari Cell is to break the chain of commercialization that has been created in the legal opportunity cell like industry. There are many organizations, they try to charge law students for like reviewing CV and drafting cover letters, etc. Firstly, I would like to say that when you come to draft these documents, it is about self-realization. One cannot, if if I tell that I have to draft a CV, so I'll rather say that I know myself better, so I can draft that document in a full-fledged way or in giving my full efforts. So I just need some guidance, but I need not be spoon-feeded by like help by some. अगर कोई मुझे हेल्प करता है सीवी वो कर बनाने में, अगर मेरा कोई दूसरा कोई मेरा एक सीवी बनाता है, तो इट्स लाइक आई गेट स्पून फीड. आई विल नेवर लर्न the intricacies of drafting a CV, like how to draft a CV and how to cover letter. And that is the major reason I started Kambharisal review CV, cover letters, and other career documents for free. We do not charge. And to give you an insight about commercialization, when I started Kambharisal, I got an offer from a top tier private institution. Like they asked me to stop the Kambharisal and then help them in a with a executable remuneration. So I straight away said them no, because if I had to do that, मैं वो कर सकता था, बहुत आराम से कर सकता था, क्योंकि मेरा रीच उतना था, मैं काम भी दे रहा था लाइक लॉ स्टूडेंट्स को. To give you an insight, right now Kambharisal has placed 650 plus law students in various internship programs across India. And then 45 law students across India have converted their legal internships into PPOs. And Kambhari Cell is the first legal opportunity cell in India to be featured in a legal international blog. So all this went for free. We did not charge. That is why I said I say a tag that Naam Bhari Kaam Bhari. That means that if our work is good, people will definitely like us. So that would be my word for this question. Thank you.
So thank you so much for making this opportunity sell for pro bono basis. It's really going to help a lot of fellow law students like us. So moving forward to the next question is about your organization again. That where do you see your platform in 5 years, and what are your immediate plans for your venture?
So this is quite an confusing question because I'm not itself clear of where I'm going to see Kambharisal like in 5 years. Firstly, when I started Kambharisal, I had no vision towards this growth. I just had a intention that I wanted to help my fellow juniors, fellow law students. I actually wanted to be a senior whom I expected in my 5 years of toil in my law school. So because being from a state university, I was never guided. I was never taught the intricacies. Basically, all I had to is I went out and I started gaining experiences. So if I talk about like the growth, I have no expectations. If people are liking, we'll grow. If law students are liking the way we work, we will definitely grow, and that is quite. I can see it right now. So we have a like base network of 10,000 plus law students. And we are on very popular on LinkedIn. We are hitting the top engagement list on LinkedIn. Basically, I recently shared a post on that on the Instagram page and the LinkedIn page of Kambhari itself. And yeah, this would be my word for the growth. And the second part is like we are recently like collaborating with law schools to help them basically in the field of internships and placement. So again, a thing, we didn't approach them like from our side. Law schools have written us mails, and then we had like a quick call with them, and then we take them on board, or they take us on board. So we help law schools even. If I need not name the law schools, but then there are 5 law schools with whom we are working right now. And we also did 2 mega internship drives basically. So out of which various law students also got facilitated in various internship programs. And the last point would be we have recently ventured into the legal content writing field, wherein we are bringing some essential legal content like on LinkedIn and Instagram. So if this goes well, so I am specifically thinking to get this registered, and then we'll run as everyone else's is running their organization. But again, this would be completely pro bono. I'm not into something paid. So this will be again pro bono. So yeah, that would be my word or the answer to this question. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing the plan with us. So now moving forward to the next question. So how do you propose that your venture will be beneficial to the law students who are watching you?
This is going to be a very critical and very attacking question. So yeah, let me answer this. So I have many things, but I'll just sum up in a few points about this question. So firstly, why are we like the most prioritized legal opportunity cell in India? That is because of our working policies. So we do not indulge in ripping the benefits of law students' efforts by making them fill the Google forms and etc. When we release any opportunity in our WhatsApp groups or the LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram, basically. So we instead what we do is give them direct links, wherein they do not have to give in their efforts in giving us an interview, because we are no one. I am still a law student, so I am not in a position to judge someone. So uh, we do not rip law students' effort in the due process. The second reason why we are like the what we can say law students prefer us more is evaluate. Like I said, I do not pursue that qualifications to judge a law student. I simply cannot break the equality. Like we studied like right to equality under Article 14 in the Constitution. I simply cannot break that when I'm venturing into the legal opportunity cell. If I break that, if I judge some law students when they send me the applications, मैं वहां पे equality break कर रहा हूँ. So what I do is I release it in an open way. Those whose CVs are having those merits, they are going to get selected, and they are directly reaching out to the resource person. हम लोग का इंटरफेरेंस ही नहीं. हम लोग कामभारी सेल is just bridging the gap between the law students and the legal opportunities. So we are not evaluating law students merely on the basis of their legal knowledge, etc. And the third point is, I said it already, we do not engage in the selection process. So a student's merit determines whether or not they are selected or not. So Kambhari Cell is not actually getting engaged in the selection process, but we are bringing up the best internship opportunities and job opportunities on a regular basis. I recently started posting on a daily basis the top 13 job opportunities on our Instagram pages and LinkedIn pages. So they, actually the law graduates can go and directly apply, and those are actually recognized and like what we can say hallmarked job opportunities, because we provide LinkedIn links and we do not prefer some other website links. So yeah, these would be my few points answering to this question. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, sir, for the answer. It was a wonderful answer. So could you please tell us that what are your thoughts on the recent ventures launched by the law students in the initial years of law career? And what is the piece of advice that you could offer the people who are like growing up on LinkedIn?
Thank you for asking this question. Actually, I was never asked this question in any live session. However, although I did like a number of live sessions, so I have also addressed this in my LinkedIn post also. So basically, answering to this question, firstly, we need to understand that हम लोग कब capable होते हैं किसी को knowledge देने के लिए, basically. So, if I ask you in what terms we get eligible to educate someone,
So after gaining a good amount of experience for ourselves, then only we can provide the experience to others, I believe.
exactly the same thing. So, if I talk about first year law students, so there's no I always support new ventures myself. I did not question. There are a lot of say similar organizations who try to take up our post. I'll not say copy our post. However, they like take up the post and they post it. I never question them on this part, because our ultimate goal is getting solved. We do not need our citation on every opportunity post. If someone is sharing that, I support that, because they are ultimately, हो सकता है कि मेरे पास जिनका रीच ना हो उनके पास हो, तो those opportunities are going to those people, those reach their reach, basically वहां से कुछ स्टूडेंट वो कर सकते हैं, अप्लाई कर सकते हैं, and they can be they will be getting a chance to intern. So basically वही चीज है कि फर्स्ट ईयर के स्टूडेंट्स जब करते हैं वेंचर इन लाइक लीगल अपॉर्चुनिटी सेल्फ में ऑनलाइन बेसिकली, सो फर्स्टली अगर वो दे आर कीपिंग इफ दे आर कीपिंग इन like some seniors with them in their team, well and good, because that is the point how they'll be able to educate or support कर सकते हैं fellow law students and juniors को, because they will be having some experience. If they are not having experience, creating a like venture or irrespective of the idea, so they'll not be able to gain some traction. The reason, if I give my example, I started off creating काम Cell in my mid third year, but then I did not do that because I did not have that much experience and the way I am having now. So I purposely created in my final year, because I had seen the major things and I have experiences the major things during my 5 year law school journey. So and I am doing well. I can say that I'm doing well. Students are liking us on that part. So yeah, बेसिकली वही चीज है कि आप पहले एक्सपीरियंस करो फिर जाके किसी को वो लाइक एडुकेट करने जाओ, अवेयरनेस फैलाओ. सो this would be my question. Sorry, answer to this question. Thank you.
Uh, so could you please tell us the advice you would like to give the students who are like right now growing on LinkedIn platform?
So if I talk about LinkedIn, basically, so LinkedIn is a very essential application which we call for the professionals. You can get every bit of things which you cannot get from other applications. यहाँ पे आपको जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिलती है, यहाँ पे आपको सीखने को मिलती है, इधर यू कैन क्रिएट योर ओपिनियन, you can learn many things. So basically LinkedIn can also be termed as your virtual CV. if I say, you can also mention all the credentials that you have on LinkedIn, basically in a hierarchical way. You can mention your skills, you can mention your certifications, and whenever if I say you a fact that after looking at your CV or after reviewing your CV, HR or the selector who is sitting or whom you have addressed an application for an opportunity goes to your LinkedIn profiles and verifies it whether all the details you have mentioned on your CV is in compliance with the information like mentioned on LinkedIn. So that is also can also be termed as a virtual CV or a virtual character of yourself only. So um, these are the like few points. मतलब LinkedIn बहुत ही अच्छा है when you try to network and when you if you want to grow and if you want a name or if you want to be known in the industry, you can actually take the help of LinkedIn and create excellent posts, interact with people, engage the people, make a beautiful network in your industry, and you'll be known in the industry. So you can like take help of LinkedIn basically to pursue these. So this would be my short word for LinkedIn for the law students. Thank you.
So thank you so much for the insightful answer. So moving forward to the next question, that what are the aspects should we keep in mind while we are like drafting a CV, cover letter, and email cover note?
So talking about this question, I would be taking up like each document like one time. So I will be starting with the CV. So 1 second. I'll have to probably see the presentation which I made. I actually refer to that.
Sure, sir.
Law students can also take in help with the presentation I made, basically in correlation with the suits. Uh, so I mentioned some beautiful chart. So when I talk, yeah, let me start. So I'll start with the CV. So when I say CV, I refer a word called perfect. So if you have a perfect CV, there's no doubt in a point that you will be selected for the opportunity you applied. So there are a few pointers which I would like to mention. I'll also like to mention I correlate the word perfect with the virtual character of Harvey Specter, who is in all sense the perfect character in a virtual sense. So I actually highlighted like poster with the image of Harvey Specter. So, keeping about these things, let's look into the pointers basically. So if I give you the first pointer, your CV should be relevant to the job or internship profile you want to apply to. If your CV lack the relevancy or relevant information that the job wants or the internship profile wants, then you are not going to get selected. It is very important to make your CV relevant to the job or internship profile you want to apply to. If I tell you the second point for a perfect CV, so use your CV to market yourself as an eligible candidate. I would rather term this point as use your CV or use the theory of salesman. So what a salesman does is वो जाता है and then he sells the product. So use your CV in the same manner to sell yourself as an eligible candidate for that opportunity. And the third point, if I say or if I relate, is always have a primary CV with you in which आप जब भी कुछ भी नया चीज करते हो वहां पे आप एंटर कर दो उसके डिटेल्स वगैरह. तो वहां पे आप क्या करते हो तो एक ही जगह आपका कॉम्पाइलेशन रह गया सब सीरीज का. But again, the trick is when you are applying for some new opportunities, make in a new CV by extracting relevant information from your rough CV. So by this, what we are doing is exactly satisfying the first point, which I said, is making your CV relevant for the job profile or the demand with the job is keeping in front of you. And the fourth thing would be it's specifically my point. I divide CV in the ratio of 60 to 40. When I say 60%, 60% of your CV should be filled with information relevant to the area of your interest. So it can be your internship experiences, publications, moot court, etc. And 40% of your CV should have infos of your other accomplishments. So by this, you are just making a, if I say, ATS compliant CV or a relevant CV for yourself, in which 90% your job is done, wherein if a HR or selector sees your CV, you'll be directly getting selected because you are making a perfect CV for yourself. So yeah, this would be my word for CV basically. Now, if I talk about cover, so again, I would term when I explain cover letter or when I speak cover letter, I term it with a word called interactive. Your cover letter should be interactive or should interact with the selector sitting in front of you. So basically, there are 3 points basically. Sorry, 4 points basically. Like जिसको हमें दिमाग में रखना होता है while drafting a cover letter. So I'll quickly go to the points. So the first point is, why are you applying for a position at that company? What is that reason of why you are applying in that company or a firm or a law office, whatever you may say. So the second point would be, why do you believe you should be chosen in your opinion? You need to stand out because if 100 people are applying, like it's not possible to take in 100. So what element makes you so special that you will be chosen out of the lot of 100? So my third point would be, your cover letter is a reflection of yourself. So make an effort to personalize it every time you apply for a new position. So, and avoid plagiarism. The person sitting in front of you, when he goes through your cover letter, will immediately sense that is it a plagiarized cover letter or is it a personalized cover letter. So if you are able to make a cover letter specifically for that person or that office, there are more chances of you getting selected. And let me give you a fact that major of the HRs tend to see the cover letter first and select the person like before even reviewing the CV, because what they are seeing is a new content and not like plagiarized content. Because, and what this means is that candidate will not indulge into shortcuts while working with them. So this is the major point. And the fourth point would be, how do you believe you can contribute to their work with your prior experiences in your opinion? So this again brings me to the relevancy part, that your cover letter should be relevant with the interest, your interest area and the interest with the job profile or the internship profile is demanding. So if you're applying at a IPR firm, you cannot make a cover letter that has all the experience details regarding general corporate or dispute resolution. So you need to have some IPR related experiences, and then they will believe that you can help them out. So this would be my word for the cover note, the cover letter basically. So I'll take up the last document which I read is email cover note. So a email cover note basically is a short form of the cover letter basically. So it is the very first thing which a HR goes through. So when I point or say email cover note, I say or term it with a word called impressive. So your email cover note should be impressive enough to uh, get the notice of the HR or the selector out there. So there are again 4 pointers that I have made for the email cover note. So the first point, if I have to speak, is subjectifying an email is critical. It should include the following information: application title, preferred month, and interested team. So by this I mean that subjectifying an email is very important. If you subjectify an email with some irrelevant line, so it would not get noticed. So or else what major of the law student do is application for internship blank. They send it like that. So in that case, there is no preferred tenure, like in what tenure the law students want to work like with that firm. So if I apply, मैं अगर apply करता हूँ कि application for internship in the month of July 2021 in the general corporate team of so and so firm. So when July actually comes, the HR would be selecting persons for the month of July or candidate for in the month of July. He will directly filter and find the word July there. So the applications would be filtering in the mail, and the work of the HR would be like getting easy basically. So this would be my first point for the email cover note. The second point is addressing the recruitment team or the recruiting team solves half of the equation. What like major of the law students do is, dear sir, my dear sir, sir, they would cite the recruitment person or the recruitment team with these citations. So these are very irrelevant and wrong citations or the way of addressing something. It should always go with the term called respected recruitment team or respected sir or respected ma'am, if you're aware of the person who is he. So this solves half of the game. So you are when you are addressing someone in a very pleasant way, so it will tend to impress them. So the third point which I want to give out is a cover note for an email should be brief, crisp, and to the point. It should not go like longer way. So no one will read actually the mail instead of your cover letter or CV. So it should be simple, crisp, and brief, and to the point. And the final point for the email cover note will be again a positive conclusion for an email cover note leads you to a line closer to the desired yes. So it is very important. And this actually comes when if you're aware that you are actually sending the email to the right resource person, then no point. You can write, I hope you will verify my CV and I'm expecting a affirmative reply, etc. But when you are not sure of the person you are sending that is the right or the correct resource person, so what you will do is write this type of thing that if in case you are not the correct resource person, I request you to like forward my email or lead me to a correct resource person. In this way, your email doesn't get ignored. When you do not write this line and you are not sure whether the resource person is right or wrong, so if that resource person is not the resource person you want to subjectify or address, you will simply ignore your mail. But if you write this particular line, he might actually forward you the details of the correct resource person. So this would be my word for the CV, cover letter, and email cover note. Thank you.
So thank you so much for this insightful answer again. This is going to help a lot of people. So moving forward to the next question, that how do law students get a PPO at a reputable law firm? And how to ace a law student, like how a law student will ace an interview when he or she is being called for an internship or for a job interview? So what are some tips you would like to share?
So again, an interesting question. PPO is like a daydream, basically. Imaginable but not fetchable. So for many of the law students. So basically, when I talk about PPOs and interview, I relate a character in Suits named Mike Ross. Mike Ross is the one who aces the interview like anything in that series. But then Suits is not realistic, but then it can make you learn very implicable things in your life as a law student. So there are 4 pointers again, each covering the interview and the PPO. I would be subjectifying them. So if I talk about interview, the first point for the interview is whenever you are going to sit before a interview panel, do a background research like on the recruitment team or the office you are going into through various number of sites called Legal 500 or the Forbes list. Uh, like these lists are these websites are getting updated like very quickly and very regularly. So you can do a background research so that you will be having a bit of idea. So when they'll ask question related to their firm, so you'll be able to answer those, and that will eventually impress the interview panel. My first point for the PPO thing would be maintain your connection and make yourself available for work even after your tenure of internship gets expired. So by this, what you are doing is promoting a goodwill for the work that the internship or the law office like gives you. So that you are simply telling कि आपको कुछ भी कभी काम है मेरा नाम याद रखिएगा मैं आ जाऊंगा. So in this you are impliedly saying that आप मुझे काम के लिए बोला मैं आ जाऊंगा. So PPO is pre-placement offer. So you are just promoting a request in a very simpler way or a implied way. So my second point for the interview is during the interview, be open and honest about your relevant experiences. So what major law students or graduates do is during the interview, flaunt out false information about their experiences. अगर उन्होंने वो किया भी नहीं होगा फिर भी कर देंगे to gain the attention and to gain the. पर सामने वाला इंसान ऐसे ही नहीं बैठा है सामने. So they'll sense what things are false and what things are true to the sense. So do not what you can say false things and be honest while giving an interview. And the second point for the PPO will be ask a relevant resource person which you have made on LinkedIn. And if you have made like on LinkedIn in respect to that office or the interview panel you are sitting in front of you, to refer your work to them. By this, what you are doing is just आप अपना काम इजी करते हो बेसिकली. अगर आपका काम रेफर होगा वहां पे तो some chances are there they might select you. So my third point for like interview would be don't just agree for the sake of agreeing. ऐसे नहीं करना है कि अगर सामने वाला कुछ भी पूछ रहा है इंटरव्यू में आपको बस अग्री करना है just to get that opportunity or fetching that desired yes. You just have to have a rational thought in everything or regarding everything as a law student. Just don't agree. Some law student, some interview panel, what they do is expect a rational thought from a law student or a law graduate who is sitting in front of them. Okay. So the third point for the PPO would be try to follow up with the project you were in working on even after your tenure ended. तो कभी कभी ये होता है हम लोग एक प्रोजेक्ट में काम कर रहे होते हैं बट हम लोग का इंटर्नशिप टेन्योर खत्म हो जाता है एंड द फर्म डजंट or isn't in a position to extend your internship because there are the set of new people coming in for the internship. So what you should do is keep a track with your seniors. So by this what you are doing, so keeping in track with the senior also who can help you in future and keeping in track with the project. So whenever a problem occurs or you want an proper lineup of the projects you were in, so you can actually highlight them while the interviews. So keeping a track with the project or the assignment while working in a firm is very necessary. And my third last point for the interview would be if you were again on the ending part, these 2 points are going to be on the conclusion part. My fourth point for the interview thing would be if you were unable to satisfy the interview panel, end the interview on a professional and constructive note. Just thank them and just give in a reply that please take into consideration my CV, and if you think I'll be an eligible candidate in near future, you can definitely contact me via my contact details as mentioned on my CV. This will make a very remarkable impression on the interview panel regarding yourself. And my last point for the PPO would be when your internship is coming to an end, simply notify the HR that you will be available for any future work, even like without any consideration. Even sitting at your home, you can do their work. What this makes is it shows your dedication level in working with that firm when you are not demanding any consideration or certification kind of. So by this, you will also learn, and you will also like make a remarkable impression in front of the panel or the recruitment team. So yeah, this would be my top 4 points for the interview and the PPO. Like yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for the wonderful answer, sir. So moving forward to the last question of the session of the talk show is, what advice or piece of advice would you like to give to the law students who are in their initial year of law career and have just joined the law school?
So yeah, बाकी सब कुछ बोल ही दिया. Like there's nothing left for me to speak out or guide the law students. But there are three guidance. So firstly, I would like to say a sentence is that when you are taking up the legal degree, तो आप ऐसे हो कि आप अपने बैक पे you are adding the wings to fly. It's just that you have to learn how to fly. And once you learn how to fly, nobody can stop you excelling in your field. So a legal degree is very, very, very like important, or a important part of the society. We are representing justice. We are fighting for everyone's equality. And we, if a doctor, if I correlate with a comparable profession, doctors out there are doing excellent job and are saving lives in an operation theater, but a lawyer is capable to save lives in a courtroom and represent a client and fight for their justice in the courtroom in the same way. So this would be my the line or the piece of advice, first piece of advice to the law students. So now I'll just quickly wrap it up, like mentioning three advices which I wanted to give to the fellow law students or juniors or whoever may be like looking into this talk show. So my first piece of advice would be interning. So keep on interning. You should never give up interning, because interning, आप जब internship करते हो, you are making a place for yourself in that industry by learning the basic intricacies or by learning the working of how, or working basically आप कैसे वो industry में काम कर सकते हो. If you are going without learning how to work out of these 5 years are very essential. ऐसा नहीं है कि सब बहुत लोग बोलते हैं कि 5 साल बाद देखा जाएगा क्या करता है. 5 साल बाद जमीन पैर के नीचे से जमीन खिसक जाती है. दैट इज द मेजर रीजन व्हाई like 70% of the lawyers are unemployed and or are not getting a like desired amount of salary for running their families. तो आप 5 साल के अंदर अंदर ही जो सीखना है सीखो. ऑब्वियसली आप बाहर ग्रेजुएट होने के बाद तो आप सीखोगे ही, बट देन इतना आपको एलिजिबल बना दो कि आप 5 साल के बाद, आप 5 साल या 3 साल जितने भी पढ़ते हैं लीगल डिग्री परस्यू करते हैं, उसके बाद आप एटलीस्ट एक जॉब ले सके. दैट इज ऑल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर द what is self confidence you if I talk about. So if someone goes out without a job out of a law school, it's very disheartening, because at the age of 25 or at the age of 26, when your friends pursuing other comparable professions will be earning in lakhs or will be earning satisfiably well, you won't feel good in yourself, and your self confidence will lose out. So 5 साल के अंदर ही करिए, इंटर्नशिप करिए, काम सीखिए, and you will eventually make a place for yourself in the legal industry. My second piece of advice would be to the law students would be establish your network through LinkedIn. पहले का जमाना बहुत अलग था, जहाँ पे कि आपको जाके फिजिकली बात करना पड़ता था लोगों से, and to create a connection, etc. Now that LinkedIn is here, LinkedIn can actually connect you sitting at your home, and then if you want to connect a person who is sitting miles away, you can connect him. You can actually use we can connect through different ways, but when we connect through video calls, etc. But when we connect through LinkedIn, basically the person will be interested in your profile and will be from your industry, will be interacting with you in regards to the professionalism or the or your profession basically. तो आप अपना relevant connection बनाइए LinkedIn पे. If I talk about relevant connection, that means that if I'm a law student, I should make connections like inside my like industry. If I talk about the relevant connection, of course मैं दूसरों को भी बना सकता हूँ, but मेरा वहाँ पे दूसरों को दूसरे प्रोफेशन से अगर मैं वो बनाता हूँ connection or I send connection, because they won't help me out in some way. Of course मतलब normal interaction के लिए तो that is the best way. But then if I talk about relevant network and like connection, you have to have like relevant people in your network, and LinkedIn can make your task very easy in today's era. And the third and last advice would be share experiences. So I am all here by sharing experiences. If at all, if I did some little work or I'm able to get some little traction in the legal industry, is because I keep on sharing my experiences for the students who are facing the same way. Basically, if you must have like watched the recent tele show on YouTube called Aspirants. तो वहां पे एक लाइन बोला जाता है कि जो जो फेल होता है वही बता पाता है कि फेलियर्स को कैसे डॉज करे. तो आई बेसिकली मेरे को जब दिक्कत हुई थी, मैंने जो जो प्रॉब्लम एक्सपीरियंस किया है, तो उसी के बारे में मैं बोलता हूँ. एंड आई लाइक राइट पोस्ट ऑन बेसिकली स्टूडेंट्स पर्सपेक्टिव. तो मैंने जो जो डिफिकल्टी फेस करी है, तो मैं नहीं चाहता कि दूसरे स्टूडेंट्स वही फेस करे. सो आई शेयर एक्सपीरियंसेस एंड दे कैन डॉज आउट ऑफ दैट. एंड एवरी लॉ स्टूडेंट, by relating me, every law student should share their experience wherein they will be helping out student like them in dodging the difficulties or complications that they are facing. So sharing experience is very necessary to educate like the people in your field. कभी कभी होता है कि आप छोटे होते हुए भी बहुत बड़े बड़े लोगों को कुछ ना कुछ सिखा जाते हो. तो it is through sharing experiences. So, and I would extend the last point for the piece of advice is, try to make yourself financially educable or educated. So मैंने ये चीज करी हुई है. मैंने फर्स्ट सेकंड थर्ड ईयर तक मैंने पार्ट टाइम जॉब्स किया हुआ है डिफरेंट. आई वर्कड इन अ रेस्टोरेंट, आई वर्कड एट अ सब Subway, which is a sandwich making company I recently addressed. And I worked, cake shop में भी काम किया है मैंने initial years में. So because to give a brief, when I joined law school, I had to separate from my paternal family with my mother. So I had to like shift to a different new city, with very less money. So if me and my mother wouldn't have worked, so we wouldn't have survived in this big city. So like my mother being a teacher, she always encouraged me to take up everything I wanted to do. She worked, and even I worked. I helped out her in like basically both of us helped each other in surviving. So this is not the point. Coming back to the point is why I say that law students should work at least once. So the basic reason I say is not only law students, this is for every student, that every student should work for at least one time in their life so that they can be like financially educated. जब आप काम करते हो तब आपको पता चलेगा कि आप जब पैसे कमाते हो उसका क्या वैल्यू होता है. Simply living up on your if I brutally say, living up on your parents' money is cannot teach you what financial independency is and what financial education is for yourself. Whenever you work, you will like learn the importance of each penny that you earn. So I would say that my salary, which I like when I started in Pune, when I started working in Pune, like as a cake shop boy as a part-timer. My first salary was 3,000 rupees. So from there, I am now working as a freelance, like legal draftsman or and a freelance contract drafter, and I'm making a good amount of money, and I'm doing well. So I have also secured something that if at all I'm not like getting some job in future, I'll be able to manage myself. मुझे पता है कि काम कैसे करना है, मुझे पता है कि भाई साहब सामने जाके कैसे करना है, मतलब सामने जाके काम कैसे करना है, बेसिकली उतना पता है मुझे अगर मेरे को जॉब नहीं। So this confidence is very important and very essential to talk about if I talk about students. So this would be my 4 suggestions or advices that I wanted to address to the law students. Thank you.
So thank you so much for the great piece of advice, and I completely agree with you. Like financial stability and financial independence is very important for everybody, not for any law students. And so it was a pleasure having you, and I really enjoyed this talk show a lot, and it was very insightful for me. Thank you so much for just sparing some time out for us for the talk show, and I would like to thank you from the on behalf of the whole team of Law Talkie, and I wish you all the best for your future and your future endeavors. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. It was pleasure talking in this talk show. Thank you.